He's Tom Borski with Borski Homes. Okay, that was Scott Borski's place out off of Elmo Whedon Road.
Yeah.
Out there in that area.
Yeah.
So they had a big surprise party. I had no clue. The wife took me over there and said that we're having a birthday party for one of the Borski girls.
Right.
So go out there, and they had, James was there, my father.
This is after you got back?
This is after I got back. This was, this would have been I flew in on a Friday, and then this would have been on a Saturday.
So when was this?
This is in October.
In October.
This past October, yes.
Yeah. So you met James just from, you'd seen the show that I did with him? And
I didn't actually see the show, but I heard it on the radio station.
Okay,
you were talking about him.
I made a radio piece out of the TV show.
And I think it was just a brief commercial that you were just talking about it, and it was during the morning talk show, and you said you were honoring him at Kyle Field.
Yeah.
Or I think it was after you honored him.
Right, he was one of the people that came on the Veterans Salute Day. Yeah.
So I called you.
That was that year, 2 years ago, when we honored the veterans and then got our butts beat by Iowa State the same day. Yeah, I remember that.
2006.
Yeah.
And so I contacted you, and you gave me his number, and I got in contact with him, just got his personal information. And from there, I called you one more time in California, when I was in California before we were going to deploy. And I'm with communications. I do everything with the Combat Operations Center, the works over there. So we were actually trying to tune in to see if we could pick you up, but we couldn't figure it out. So, but while I was there, you can fly a flag, and I was in Camp Fallujah when I first arrived in March.
Right.
So in March,
this is March of
07.
07.
Yeah, of 07. All this was last year.
Right.
So I was still there about this time last year, of course.
Right.
So I was in Fallujah for about a month, and then they moved me to Al Assad. And while I was in Al Assad, that's when I flew the flag for James.
I see.
And sent it back to him. It was a nice certificate that our commanding officer, who's a very good personal friend of mine now, he signs and it just says in honor of flown on this date. A few other odds and ends things on there, and so James received that. When I came back, and it was such a beautiful story. When I didn't have any personal contact with him while I was over there. When I came back, though, my wife told me that he met. She had met with him, and that they received the flag, and that he gave my wife to give to me or just for us a CB pen. Now this pen, his mother, while he was overseas, got this and wore it while he was overseas in Guadalcanal and everywhere. And so this is an antique, because this is when the CBs were first formed. But for him to give us that is just... Now, I don't have it here. It's in Navasota, my father's place. While I was over there also, I lost my mother to cancer in 2005. 5 days after I came back from my honeymoon, actually. She was just living to see my wife and our wedding.
Yeah.
So I flew a flag for her in her honor, the 3rd-year anniversary of her death.
Right.
Okay, and then all my medals, just the classic case with the medals and everything that I had while during that campaign. But I got his pin inside there as well.
Right.
So, thought that would be fitting. And then ironically enough, like I said, 5 days after my mother passed away, after we got back from our honeymoon, 5 days later, my grandmother passed away when we came back from Iraq. Which that was dementia, Alzheimer's,
Yeah.
So we're living in her home right now, actually, until we build a home. So
I see.
That's just a basic on James there, and I was just ecstatic to see him, though. And I do have some additional photos for you. He is wonderful.
He spent his whole post-war career in education, and he was principal at, I forget where he was principal at for many years, and all that. And you can still sort of see in him that principal kind of guy, like the kind of guy you wouldn't necessarily want to be called to his office, because you could see where he could probably have been, in his youth, he was probably a pretty stand-up, stern kind of fellow that you wouldn't want to mess with. But what a nice man. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. Matter of fact, there's only been 3 of the veterans that I've had on the TV show that I've really traveled any significant distance out of town to go see, and he was one of them. I went to Brenham to see him. Wow. And I remember after we finished talking, it was easy to find his house because he's got a big CB's flag in his front yard. And on his mailbox, I think. And then after we finished visiting, he said, "Let me take you to our memorial," because he was very instrumental in building the Veterans Memorial that's there in Brenham, and it's really nice.
Wow.
I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a big plaza, big circular thing with all the names of the county's veterans on it and all that. And he was the guy that sort of spearheaded the funding of it and got it going and all of that kind of stuff. So he was very proud of that. So I went and saw that after we visited, and then he we did the thing at Kyle Field, and then later on there was an exhibit at the over at the MSC a couple of years ago of life pictures in Life magazine, World War II pictures, or Associated Press photography from World War II. And we did a show over there, which is the only remote show that we've ever done. And I asked him to come over and be on that show, so he's really been on our show twice. But yeah, I'm glad that my show was able to get you all together. Indeed. That's obviously meant a lot to you and meant a lot to him also.
It was. So, and another thing with that, our guys that I work with are so much into the history of the Seabees.
Right.
And Vietnam vets, that's the only contact they've had with people that have been, in previous wars.
Right.
And they're always, wanting to talk. Well, when they found out that I had gotten in contact with this guy, they're like, "Oh, bring him over. We want to talk to him. James would be more than happy to come in there and share stories.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with everybody going on IRR status right after we got back, we're just now starting to all meet up again. In fact, last month was the first time we actually had like a large gathering up in Shreveport, Louisiana, which is where our battalion headquarters is based out of.
Right.
And when I told them about him, though, they're wanting to meet him.
Yeah.
And so
that's great.
It's unfortunately he said he doesn't travel well, so that's the only problem I have is getting him down to Houston and
getting up there. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah. Well, tell me about your
teams would come back. One of the funny stories was, you're wearing your Kevlar, you've got all your, this heavy gear on wherever they would go. And they would come over there asking for a cold pill, okay?
Yeah.
And they're giving them Benadryl, they're giving them all this, no, cold pill. Well, they thought something to bring down their thermostat. They thought we were taking some kind of a pill. How do you keep it, cool all the time, know? And here they were living there all their lives, and they could not figure that out.
Right.
There's a few photos in here that you'll see with some of the local Iraqis, but they never, to my knowledge, had a problem with any of them. They would have we would have a translator and a Marine advisor that would be with us at all times as well whenever they would travel out in country.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know where to begin, but what you see on the media is not what it's like over there. That they hate us. They don't want us there. Totally not true.
Yeah, I want to hear. I want you to talk about that on the show too. What are some of the big misconceptions that we get from the media as far as that?
I don't want to be too political.
Well, we're not being too political. I mean, I don't want to get into a media bashing thing rather than not telling it, rather than saying what it's not. I mean, what is it? I mean, what it is.
The first thing that comes to mind is just like when we first went in there, it was John Murtha. You have all these others just telling us, in the world. The thing is, everything that you see on the media where a political party is saying we cannot win this war, we don't belong in this war, George Bush is a liar.
Yeah.
The Iraqis see that too.
Right.
And to me, they're getting people killed. Because it empowers them.
I'm not saying that because I think that it empowers. That's the right word.
It gives them motivation.
Yeah.
It gives them confidence that if their own people are against the president, well, then
it gives them. Everybody says, okay, well, the tide has turned, the surge is working, and we're winning the war. Well, to me, it seems to me that exactly what you're saying is what's keeping us from closing the deal, because they do have this idea like, maybe let's keep on fighting because of what you're talking about.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it seems as though that anything that's good for Iraq is bad for the Democratic Party, and that's why they it's almost like they control the media.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. This election is, to me, it's the most. I've never been around anything that was more media influenced than what this election is. But I don't know. I don't know if the people are buying it. I heard just this morning that since he got back from Germany, that Obama's lost 9 points.
Yeah,
and it's a dead heat again now. So
yes,
I'm not. Obviously, McCain is not. He's not sexy. He's not a good speaker. He's all the things that Obama and people like that, and Kennedy and people like that were not, as far as and all that. But people are getting wise to it.
Though that one photo of McCain where he's in front of his A4 Skyhawk, my wife saw that and she's like, "Who is that?"
Yeah,
I said, "That's John McCain."
Yeah,
he was pretty good looking back in the day.
Hey, we all get old. My goodness, we all don't stay pretty. That's. No, I think this is going to be very, very interesting, and I think Obama's inexperience is going to come out and show. He's going to stick his foot in his mouth. I mean, he comes just dangerously close all the time to showing his true colors as far as his inexperience and all of that. And I think that this'll. I think all these young people that say, "Oh, I love Obama. He's the second coming of Christ,"
right,
are going to say, "Well, I'm not going to vote for that McCain guy, so I'm just going to stay home." And that's what'll beat Obama, is people staying home.
Yes.
That's just my own thoughts, but I don't know. It's scary. So what else over there that we're not covering as far as when you were in country? As far as what you did or anything
that's the
like
thing.
that?
That's why I was like, there's not a whole lot that I did.
Yeah. Well, no, there's a whole lot that you did. I mean, people don't realize the minutia that goes into fighting a war. I mean, everybody up in the front lines, with the black on their face and and screaming and hollering and killing people. And that's why the Seabees are so fascinating to me, because World War II could not have been won or fought, much less won, without the Seabees to build the runways and all of the construction that they did, and huts and everything like
Indeed.
that they did is just incredible. And this is, when you think about Seabees, you think mainly about World War II. You don't think about Seabees in modern wars, even in the Gulf War, or even in or Iraq or Afghanistan.
Right.
You think about things have to be built to fight a war. You don't just And I guess Seabees, from when the war started, back in 2002, Seabees, I guess, are responsible for building a whole lot of stuff that just wasn't there.
Sure. Yeah, and we're most of the time we're
and things like
that.
that.
Majority of the time we have one Marine advisor that's with us, is a gunnery sergeant that's with us, and the rest of the time, if they get into some trouble, they're on their own. That's one of the things that was reservists. We're trained more in combat than anything. Because we do, well, not me per se, but everyone else. Most of them are engineers in their civilian world, so they just do nothing but combat training.
So you spent most of 2007 over there. You came back in November, is that right?
In October.
In October?
Correct.
Okay. And then what'd you do?
From there, it took me 6 months to find a job. I thought, with working with all this technical equipment that I did in the Combat Operations Center, I was going to work for Lockheed Martin or General Dynamics. And what I wanted to do originally was go and, we had this thing called the CPOF system, which is the Command Post of the Future. Amazing technological achievement that this product was. You could watch the battle as it unfolded. You got to see every single piece of military equipment, both American and British, everybody out there and where they're at all times. You can communicate with them. So what I wanted to do was, this was a General Dynamics piece of hardware, is have the opportunity to join up with that team, train here, and then go. You would have the opportunity to go back into Iraq and train military personnel on site on this system, for 3 months at a time. You're making, bukus of money doing this as well. Unfortunately, it was really difficult to find, just the right way to get into there. I had a contact person. They never got back in contact with me. When you try to just contact General Dynamics directly, it's like putting out a resume and you're competing with everyone else, whereas you have the experience. So that didn't go anywhere. Then the graphic design, I wanted to go to Lockheed Martin, work on the F-35 project up there, do something with the, graphics, model building, something like that. Something that I would enjoy doing. Just nothing wasn't working out. So another fellow CB who is Brazos Valley here, his name is Stuart Denner. He worked in the COC with me. He lives in Shiro. His wife works for A&M off of Agronomy Road. I'm not sure what department, but he got hired on here at TTI. He's with the he's in charge of safety over in the the TTI tower over there behind Wise and Baker over there. He said, "Hey man," he says, "get on board. This is a great place to work." So I research associate is my title. I contacted Katie Walmack, who works next door here. She hired me pretty much on the spot. Once she saw my resume and I walked in here and she hired me. Yeah. So here I have been.
So what do you do?
We work primarily with a lot of the funding comes from TxDOT. We do a lot of the survey work for, say, a Click It or Ticket campaign that just ended. We go out and we actually stand on a street corner and count seatbelts, and we just see who's wearing their seatbelt, who's not. Now we'll get the age, the race, as well as we're just getting the front driver and passengers.
You just stand on the corner and watch
stand on the corner
with you got a little piece of paper and light.
Have a hard hat on, a yellow vest, and make it look like we're actually doing something.
And that's what you do?
That's what I do. That's one small part of what I do. Yeah. And then we go out into some very, very dangerous areas in Fort Worth and Dallas, and we're there in the middle of the night as well.
Oh, really?
So you see a crack deal going down just right around the corner from you while you're doing this. So that got to be a little tense.
So you've been here since
March 1st is when I started working here. But everything with when I departed UPD back in 05, January of 05, departed UPD, and I went to car sales, working for the Dodge place here, Bossier over there, and all that time carried over. So that was 10 years. So I'm still with the military in this, working our way to retirement here. So so that's working out.
Right. So you still get a check from the Navy too.
Yes.
That's good.
So I'll drill. We drill in Houston. They just built a new facility over at Ellington Field. They're trying to get Ellington Field more of a military base before they were going to try to close that all down at one time. So our primary Naval Reserve Center was on Old Spanish Trail, right behind Reliance Stadium and Astrodome area. Well, that's prime medical district right there. So they've been wanting that for years. So finally they sold it to them. And however, there's some kind of a problem with the foundation or something at the new facility, so we're going to have to wait. It didn't pass inspection. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. But lately, though, our battalion headquarters in Shreveport, Louisiana, I've been there past 3 months now.
Right.
Been drilling up.
So how often do you have to go play Navy?
Go once a month.
You go once a month?
Once a month.
And you're there for a week or what?
Just there for the weekend.
For the weekend, okay.
For the weekend, yes. Okay. And then we'll go 2 weeks during the year.
I see.
To just either military combat type scenario, or else we'll go to a construction phase. Which right now is a construction phase that we're in right now. So I haven't done my 2 week yet. I'm still trying to get a school right now. So that'll be the next thing. And then, of course, the deployment will come up in 2010 of Afghanistan. So we're just going to keep getting in shape. I'm testing this month in August in a couple of weeks for first class, try to put on first class. My goals, ambitions, with my degree is to make chief and then try to get warrant officer before I retire.
I see.
That's what, my goal is there. So hopefully we get that.
Well, that's fascinating. The thing I love about doing this show and all that is just I learned so much about, different things and different aspects of the military and the service and the different people that are, that are serving us and all of that. And this is just another fascinating episode that I'll be able to put on the air.
Well, I hope it works out.
Oh,
It's,
no,
you know,
oh, no,
I think
it's gonna be great.
once you watch the video, if you can show video clips on your show.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to KAMU and talk to Kyle and see.
Mm-hmm.
We've done this once before with a. We've put a video on once before. You say this lasts an hour. I'm wondering.
There, you can divide up into clips.
What would be the? I wonder what would be the best. I mean, if I'm looking at it, if we were just to show 2 minutes of it, I mean, what would be the most significant part of it, just as far as to try to describe what you're going to be talking about on the show?
They start talking about the crow's nest in there.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's a fascinating piece. They Commander Sharton, who is our CO. Mm-hmm. He does a little introduction about himself. Talks about what our areas of operation are and whatnot. Right. Most of it's comedy. It's a lot of comical stuff that's in there. Right. Then we go into there's a Purple Heart ceremony, which that's really long. But we have Admiral Cellon. That's I think that's what you say his name. He actually does a presentation. Right. One of the key things in that DVD that I did, most of my besides the COC.
Are you in the DVD?
I'm in there a little bit. Yes,
okay.
Yes. One of the key things that we did was Rear Admiral Phillips was the admiral over the Seabees, the construction engineering aspect, civil engineering, I should say. And he retired after 30 some odd years, and they were going to they had a retirement party for him up in Washington D.C. or somewhere. I mean, you're talking about the Joint Chiefs of Staff. My old boss from UPD, now Secretary of Defense. Gates was there. Lots and lots of high-ranking officials. Right. Well, they wanted everybody to send out some kind of little DVD, and that's what started this whole DVD project. They wanted to film something. So what we did was it's called a Salute to Admiral Phillips. We basically did the old hee-haw, such and such salute. We did that, and then we sing the Seabee song.
Okay.
Well, we made it fun. We made it comical, as you'll see, and they ended up showing it twice. They said it was definitely the highlight of the evening. So for that, I've got this Naval Achievement Medal, which I was awarded that because of that film.
Right.
There is one of the major things I do want to talk to you about.
Yep.
The Seabees are working here in this community, actually.
Oh, okay.
The obstacle course that's over here, 2018 and George Bush Drive, we built that.
Yeah.
That was back in 2000. We were about to start up a second phase of that. Our major parks with the ROTC here at Texas A&M. He's heading up that project. He's been gone somewhere. He's going to be back this month. Okay. My CO, everyone else is on board. We're trying to get to be DOD approval so that we can actually do this. But what's going to consist of, they're going to build one of those large towers with the rope going from one section to the other. This thing is going to be like, I think they were saying 50 feet
Is this going to be over in the same area?
This is going to be, yes. So it's going to be right on the corner there, actually. So they're going to have this huge structure. We're going to have some kind of like artwork, like a Texas A&M logo, ROTC logo, for the Corps Cadets. Something that'll be visible from, because once you get, coming from either way, you'll clearly be able to see it from a ways off. Plus, as you're flying in as well.
Right.
So this will be definitely something that's going to be easily like a landmark.
Make sure that we have time for you to talk about that probably towards the end of the show. That'll be good. Like I said, you've seen the show. It's about 28 and a half minutes long. The challenge is always to get everything you want to talk about in the 28 and a half minutes. I don't think we'll have any problems with that. But we're going to do it on Wednesday. Like I say, we normally do it on Thursday, but since you're leaving and I'm leaving the next day, you're going to PA, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I'll be. We'll be more in Corpus Christi. We'll be
you're down
just south. Well, it's on Mustang Island.
South on 361.
Yeah. Well, Gulf Shores in Port Aransas?
Sure do. Is that where y'all are?
It's the sister of Gulf Shores. I think it's called...
So it's like right next door?
Something else. It's further down. It's actually in Corpus Christi. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, we're actually in Port Aransas.
Right.
We're at a place called Island Retreat.
Okay.
On 11th Street, which is just right off of 361, which is the road. And y'all are going down Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah. Well, we're going Friday and spending a week. This is my vacation. This
Excellent.
is a week's vacation. So we're looking forward to it. Fortunately, Dolly missed us to the south, and it looks like Edward's going to miss us to the north. So we're going to be just fine.
We're going to be in good shape, right?
I hope. Yeah, that's yeah, that'll be good. We've been ducking them so far this summer. That's good. I hope that this Edward brings us some rain here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it will. I was looking through.
Well, yeah, we were saying this morning it's a 100% chance of a lot of rain tomorrow or Tuesday, I guess.
Yeah, I heard what were y'all saying this morning? There was y'all were using some word. I don't remember what it was. I guess it was coming straight from the weather, though. They were saying assurance or assured chance of rain, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't recall, but yeah, we used to stay at that Gulf Shores for the whole 1980s. That's where we go as the Port Aransas ourselves.
So you were at Camp Fallujah about a month? About
a month.
And then you went to Al-Assad.
Went to Al-Assad, yes. And again, with the Combat Operations Center, what I would do there, by the way, was I'd give brief whenever the captain, female captain with the 30th NCR, she would come by and I'd have to give briefings to her as well as the Marines on the day's events. We had 3 screens set up in there we could watch. We had what's called a Merc chat, which would be basically like your Yahoo Messenger.
Right.
You could pretty much talk to anybody in that theater.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah.
And you just have to know the right channel. So we'd have all these on one screen in the middle, and that way we would be in contact with just like the 30th NCR, Camp Fallujah,
right,
and then other people that were out there in the other areas of operation.
Right. I'd like to talk about your, a little bit if we have time, about your hobbies. Could you do me a favor and bring, I would have brought it myself, can you bring tomorrow, can you bring your camera to work and maybe take a picture of this for me and email it to me?
Yeah.
Like this one, and maybe one of those in an airplane or something like that. Just get up close and just shoot just pictures and then email them to me. Would you do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Just bring your camera to work tomorrow and do that for me, then email them to me. Because I'd like to include those in the show about your hobby, about doing that, because those are fascinating.
You know, include like Colonel North autographing or anything like that, or
no, that's okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd like maybe this carrier and maybe one of those. I'd like maybe that's a Russian carrier there.
Yes, the Russian one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe one of the airplanes or that carrier over there, whichever ones you like. A couple of things that you like the best. That'd be great. All of them. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, if you could shoot that and then just email me those pictures.
Yeah.
And then, are you in this book other than your individual shot that I saw?
Yeah.
Show me where you are. You can probably find yourself.
A whole lot of photos of me.
Well, isn't that the way it always is? You take pictures of other people.
Yeah, there's like a lot of logos right there.
Oh yeah.
See, this is just random photos that we
that
were shot.
Yeah.
I thought that was me there. Okay, I am. There's the 12th man.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And there I am there. This missile.
Okay, but I've got that picture here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I got that. Didn't you send me that picture too?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we were lost in the desert, so to speak.
Right.
But that missile, by the way, that I put that Howdy Dammit on, was actually used and took out a house.
Oh, really?
With some insurgents with the Howdy Dammit on it.
On it?
It sure did.
I'll be done.
Don't recall if I was. Yeah, and then the president was there when he flew into Al-Assad. I was gonna suggest even this other guy, Stuart Dinner. Even both of us could be on with you. I don't know if you.
Well, we're not really set up for
Okay.
Yeah, set up for that. Because there's so little time to talk. I'd be robbing people of the time. So.
This is an honor that you're allowing me to do this, though. This is
an honor for you to be on.
I really think that was about it. Oh, the communications. That's right. Where's that at? Yeah, here we are. Yeah, and then all this is what I did as well. But like, there's me with shooting my laser there.
Oh, okay. There you are, right there. Yeah.
And then there, and that's me on the phone there.
This is you here?
Yeah, that's me there.
Yeah.
And then again there.
Right.
Over here, there's me with the Admiral. That's
yeah, that picture's in
that's
here.
That's in there as well, yes. And then that's me in the middle there. And that's it.
Good.
Oh, and then this is me with, I didn't even include this picture, I don't think, but that's a Navy SEAL. He and, this is actually a pretty cool story. His father's a state trooper. He's been, his, Jared Shaw is his name. And, I'm not sure what SEAL team he was with, but his father and I used to be good friends. He's a state trooper. He's now a narcotics sergeant in Victoria.
I see.
And I knew him when he was in Grimes County, but he told me he was over there. And so when I was in Camp Fallujah, the SEAL camp was like right there next to ours. So I went over there just seeing, hey, do you guys know this guy, Jared? And he's like, yeah, he's right here. So of all places, he was right there. So I got to see him right before I departed and had to go back to Al-Assad, or to Al-Assad rather.
Wow. That's not you there, is it?
No, that's in Saddam's palace right there. That's his little throne.
That's his throne.
That it is, and that's in Baghdad. That was our S6, our communications officer.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Can I borrow this book?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I'll give it back to you on Wednesday.
Okay.
I need to. I will email you or call you. I think is 2:30 going to be okay on Wednesday?
Yeah, in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to take the show.
Yeah.
I'll call you if that changes, because he emailed me yesterday and said this is a final exam week, so some of their students who run the cameras and stuff like that have weird schedules this week, but he thought that would be okay, but he's gonna confirm it with me. Are you pretty, if it changes by an hour or so either way, if I let you know today, are you pretty flexible as far as that?
I just got a little bit of work to finish up that you'll be done.
Okay. And what I say, we'll just you can wear, just your regular work clothes, anything you want to do. I usually wear a coat and tie, but my guest usually does not. They just usually wear just a
I was gonna
collared
ask you,
shirt
or
or whatever.
A uniform, or...
If you wanted to wear a uniform, that would be great. I haven't had many that did that, but I think that's always wonderful, since you're still if you want to wear a uniform, I think I'd be honored for you to wear that if you don't mind doing that. You do what you want to do.
Well, what would be appropriate? The desert? I still got the desert, or...
How about the desert?
You think?
Yeah, the fatigues.
Okay.
Yeah. Will you do that?
I can do that.
That'd be great.
Sure.
That'd be great.
Okay.
I love that. I love
Cool.
that.
All right, right.
I love that. I've had a couple that have done that before, and that would be great. Yeah. Yes.
Before you depart, I do... This is
Are you
going to
give me a coin?
I'm going to give you a coin.
Oh, my gosh.
And again, that is my coin. I designed that in its entirety.
You're only the second one of my veterans that's given me a coin.
Really?
I had a Vietnam veteran give me a coin one time, and I just absolutely treasure it. And you designed this?
I designed that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all using the little Macintosh computer back
here. This is the 28th CBs.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
One of the original. I would almost bet money that we are the only original CB battalion that's never broken up. It's been in existence since World War II.
Since World War II. Goodness gracious. Thank you very much for that. What an honor to have that.